Yo, what's going on, y'all? This is Marcus Rosa, aka Mazuma TV, back at y'all with another video, man. I hope everybody's having a blessed, beautiful, positive, productive day. I'm just chilling right now, man, just enjoying the beginning of my weekend. I hope y'all doing the same. On the road to 3K. We well into the 2K mark. We in the 2200 mark, in all honesty, man. About to hit that mid 2200 mark. Shout out to the nation and the mob for making this possible. All right, y'all, let's talk about one of the hottest discussions currently going on in boxing, and that is the possible fight that could be next in the welterweight division between Jaron, Ennis, and Brian Norman Jr. You know what I'm saying? I had went live last night, man, and it was a pretty intense live, man. A lot of, testosterone in the building. Probably a little bit of mix of estrogen in the building as well if y'all went and watched the the live last night. But regardless, man, a lot of people are caught up in their feelings, and there's a lot of mixed opinions overall on exactly what's going on behind Jaron, Ennis, and Brian Norman. It had all started off with my guy Jamil Parker, man. Shout out to YSM Sports Media. Came out with an interview with Jaron Ennis, and Jaron Ennis has stated that Brian Norman, or at least his team, whoever they had sent the offer to, they sent the offer 2 days ago and they had turned it down. Brian Norman and his team, his father, came out immediately and said that was false, that, they turned down the initial offer, but they responded with a counter offer. You see what I'm saying? So they're pretty much alluding to the fact that, Jaron Ennis is lying. Now, I had went on the live last night and said that how could Jaron Ennis be possibly lying? You know what I'm saying? Because he said that Brian Norman turned down the fight offer 2 days ago. And when you send a counter offer, that is you initially turning down a fight deal. You know what I mean? Or offer. You know what I'm saying? Let me just say that. When you're sending a counter offer, you know what I'm saying? That's not you necessarily walking away from the fight, but that is you ultimately turning down an offer to fight Jaron Ennis. We can't act like that's not true. You know what I'm saying? There's a difference between turning down a fight and, completely avoiding the fight overall, or just not being interested in the fight. Complete difference. You know what I'm saying? But, it is what it is. But what I want to get into with this whole conversation is, did Jaron Ennis strategically, or, maybe just, he probably didn't even do it strategically, in all honesty. Did he purposely trap Brian Norman into taking this fight with him next? You see what I'm saying? And I'm asking this because, in all honesty, man, if we keep it at 1,000, there's a lot of demand behind this fight happening now. Everybody is talking about it. The hardcore boxing fans are raving about the fight. It seems like there's finally some interest in the 147-pound division. Because like I said, previously, the welterweight division has died down a lot because a lot of the people from the previous generation have moved on, whether they moved up in weight, Earl Spence, Terrence Crawford, been inactive like Keith Thurman, or ultimately walked away from the game like Sean Porter. You see what I'm saying? Danny Garcia moved up as well. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people aren't really in the 147-pound division, so it leaves a bunch of people who, are talented. You know what I mean? Stanion is talented, Brian Norman talented, Barrios Boots talented, but they have to make a name for themselves. You see what I'm saying? Or at least make a name off of each other. You feel me? So, the division, I wouldn't say necessarily is dead, but, it's very quiet right now. There's a lot of crickets. You see what I'm saying? So, I'm saying all of that to say there's finally some excitement in the welterweight division, and a lot of people are really pushing for this fight, considering that both of these guys are speaking about fighting each other. You know what I mean? Both of these guys sound confident in their abilities and defeating each other. Boots is as confident as can be. Brian Norman seemed like he ain't got no bitch in his blood. So with that being known, it's like, all right, like what's happening? Like, let's get this popping. Let's get this shit on the road. You know what I mean? We don't want to see Boots do no fucking mandatory challenge and, carrying somebody that he beat last year. We don't want to see Brian Norman, fight, any voluntary defenses with nobody. Jalil Hackett, ain't no disrespect to Jalil Hackett at all. He's talented. He's proven himself. He's hungry. You know what I'm saying? But, he's trying to interfere with that situation. I don't really care to see that. I see Teofimo Lopez trying to intercept the fight with Brian Norman. That's not the worst fight, but I don't want to see that over a Jaron Ennis fight. Unification fight is a lot more meaningful than Teofimo Lopez coming into the 147 division. And on top of that, man, he got smoke at 140 to worry about. I don't know why he trying to walk away from 140 like he proved everything he needed to prove. Nah, nigga, you got to go to 140. That's an action-packed division right now and prove that you are the cream of the crop. You know what I mean? You ain't struggling to make weight. So what's your reason for moving up? It seemed like you trying to avoid some problems. But anyway, This ain't about Teofimo Lopez. You feel what I'm saying? What I'm trying to say is Brian Norman versus Jaron Ennis is one of the biggest fights to be made in the welterweight division right now. You see what I mean? Jaron Ennis is being very headstrong about becoming undisputed in the welterweight division, and he said he wants every single belt. You know what I mean? Him and Brian Norman have history. They sparred each other multiple times. You know, Brian Norman and his team, his father, you know, they've praised Jaron Ennis on multiple occasions. You know, I just seen an interview that Brian Norman Sr. did with Mill City. I don't know if it's today or yesterday, but he said that, you know, Brian Norman sparring Jaron Ennis really elevated his son's game. You know what I mean? So that would let you know that, you know, he got a lot of work. You know what I mean? He got some good ass work. And from what I heard, you know, it didn't really go in Brian Norman's favor. You know, and Jalil Hackett was like, what you say? You smoke boots or sparring? No, we never said we spark boots. We never said we smoke boots. You know what I'm saying? So that pretty much, you know, confirmed everything that I had heard from the sparring rumors and shit like that. But regardless, none of that adds up to the real thing. You know what I'm saying? Brian Norman got a lot of dog. You know what I mean? He got a good gas tank on. He comes in top shape. You know, Jaron Ennis is, you know, a very well-rounded fighter, man. And he could do it all. You feel me? I got to do a little bit more studying on Brian Norman or whatever to see exactly what his flaws are, what his strong suits are outside of his, you know, his heart. You see what I'm saying? But, you know, what I do know is, is Brian Norman is the WBO 147-pound champion of the world, and Jaron Ennis the IBF 147-pound champion of the world. So let's see these guys unify. Let's get closer to, you know, undisputed. You know what I'm saying? Let's get one step closer to it being one champion in the division at welterweight again. You know, Terrence Crawford did it. Let's see who could, you know, accomplish it after Terrence Crawford. Out of the young guns that's in the division right now, will it be Stanionis? Will it be Barrios? Will it be Boots? Will it be Norman? We won't know until these guys fight each other, man. I'm rooting for Boots all the way, obviously. You know what I'm saying? I know I get a lot of criticism for that, but regardless, you know, I'm rooting for him to come out at the top of the division at the end of the day. I think that he surpasses all of them. I think he has the whole division's number, in all honesty. But, you know, that's just me. But I don't know. I could think this shit. I could speculate all I want. But the thing is, I gotta see it to believe it, man. And Jaron Ennis gotta do what everybody else does when they're on their road to becoming great, and that's constantly showing and proving. So that's my overall take on the situation, man. And what I wanted to close out with this video is, I think that Boots made a very, very smart move. I don't know if it was strategic or not, but I do believe that him putting out that video really got the Normans' attention, and because they reacted, I don't know if you want to call it reacted emotionally, or, you know, them just being prideful in who they are, but them responding in that way pretty much backed them into a corner where it's like, now you gotta fight Boots next. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't fight Boots next after saying all that shit, acting like Boots ain't who he is and all this other stuff, you know what I mean? It's gonna look like you was just capping and you ultimately ducking. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and Brian Norman and them, they said the only thing that can stop this fight from happening is Matchroom. So, you know what I'm saying? I highly doubt Matchroom is gonna get in the way of Boots fighting Brian Norman. You know, I think the only thing that can stop it from happening is, you know, Brian Norman and his team outpricing themselves. You feel what I'm saying? Because as far as I'm concerned, you know, it seemed like there's a couple problems with the Normans, you know, on their side. You know, I don't think they're very comfortable with the idea of, you know, fighting in Philadelphia, because from what I heard, they said they would take the same fight offer if it was in a different location. The same offer that they had just declined, they said that they would take if it was not in Philadelphia. You know what I'm saying? Which I thought was very interesting, in all honesty. You could check that out on Mill City. And then, you know, it seems like they just, you know, they understand that Boots is a risk. They understand that he's dangerous. But so with that being known, at the same time, you know, they want to get the most money out of it possible. You feel what I'm saying? So that's my overall take on the situation, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this. Are the Normans backed into a corner into making this Jaron Ennis fight happen? If they don't fight Jaron Ennis next, is it a duck? Y'all let me know in the comments below. This is Mazuma TV. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm out of here, man. Peace.